4, 3, 2, 1. Here she is, Capricorn TV, Silicon Valley.
Hey guys. So let's talk about some Silicon Valley today. My favorite show on HBO. It's like so freaking good. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that Epic History X-Men Volume 3, The Dark Phoenix Saga, is now on Vimeo on demand. You can go check it out for the price of a comic book. You get over an hour-long documentary. It's got voice acting and like lots of cool stuff. And so if you ever wanted to like know what like the Dark Phoenix is about, because everybody knows about the Dark Phoenix, but nobody like has actually sat down and read the comic apparently, except for like me and T-Bone, our director. So, you know, if you want the real history, you want to see what's up, go check it out. So now let's get into it with Silicon Valley. Man, this show is so fucking good. I can't even get over it. Every episode, just I love it so much. And okay, so yes, Jared is fucking killing it this season. Like the shit they're doing with Jared is just like the best, like the absolute best. I love his character this season. It's so much fun. And I had a lot of fun with in like one of the first scenes where Richard is talking to his people and his people on his coders, you know, and he's talking about the tabs and the spaces, you know, and he's friggin' tabs Nazi. And he has Dinesh come on, you know, and he's like, all right, so we're going to have the man with the tan. Come on. And then Dinesh is like, it's not a 10. This is how I was born. Like I was just like dying laughing so hard. Guilfoyle's suspiciousness of the bartender girl was funny. It's like, Guilfoyle's getting a little jelly, you know. I mean, we saw his girlfriend like last season, or kind of girl, or whatever they've got going on. I like to see, you know, her pop back up, or what's going on with them. You know, more Guilfoyle weird. In fact, I would just like to see more of Guilfoyle's weird like Satanism stuff that he does. Like they haven't really alluded to it at all this season, which is like kind of disappointing for me because, you know, I'm like totally into the occult and weird shit. And I just like love seeing stuff like that represented in any way, shape or form, like in any sort of media whatsoever. And I just love like he is that guy. Like I do know people who are into weird shit like that, and they are kind of like Guilfoyle, and it is pretty awesome. But yeah, so Richard's finally getting a girl, you know, and of course, you know, he's going to fuck it up. And he does, but we'll get into that in a minute. The Gavin scandal has broken. Okay, so everyone knows now that Gavin has tried to scrub the internet. And I loved it when he showed up to Hooli and he's getting out of his car and there's all those protesters, you know, and then the fucking guy in the bathtub who's like scrubbing himself. And then the guy comes up with a bucket of fucking bubbles. And like, it's so silent. Like, it's so funny because it's so non-violent. You know, it's like the best non-violent like way to protest something. It was just like bubbles. And then like everyone just stops for a minute. And then they all start cheering, you know, like, oh, that was so good. And then when, you know, Gavin's talking to his lawyers about like, what can we do? You know, like back in the day, like I could just have these people killed, you know, and he sees himself as this captain of industry when he's really just like this shitbag. And then when he excuses his lawyers, you know, where he's like, you people are useless. You're excused, you know, it's just like, Gavin, like these fucking guys, these ego fucking guys just can never take personal responsibility for their actions. You know, they just can't. And this actor is so great. Like I can't remember his name right now, but I remember seeing him in Matt Ross. The first time I ever saw him was in American Psycho. And I've kind of like, I loved his character in American Psycho. So like I've been kind of following him since then. And I love seeing him as Gavin Belson. Like he just fucking kills it. I love seeing the downfall of Gavin, you know, slowly happening. So then we have friggin' Ehrlich trying to have an Alcatraz asshole party, you know, and he's like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I will say, this is my one criticism of the show, is that I felt like Bachman was being a little, it's not really, I don't think he's that dumb to spend that much money on stuff. Like, I mean, you like, that's a lot of money that he was just like blowing everywhere. It's like, what do you think? Like, I mean, I know $20 million sounds like a lot. Like it does sound like a lot, but when you have a crazy mansion and then you're like, and you have 20 people living in the house and you spend $500,000 on a blog and like this part, like renting out Alcatraz, like how much does fucking renting out Alcatraz cost? And then turning it into a fucking Hawaii? Like what the fuck? Like, come on, Bachman. Like, what are you doing?
But that happens, right?
But it does happen. I mean, that's the thing that happens to a lot of people. Like if you haven't had like shit tons of money and then you get shit tons of money, then like a lot of people just end up blowing it all because like they don't know what to do and they just think that it's endless. And I mean, this happens to like NFL players all the time, like especially like sports people. There's like a whole 30 for 30 documentary about specifically that issue. And even The Rock kind of has a show about that, Ballers, which I watched some of the first season, but it wasn't really that great, unfortunately. It could have been. I love the premise of it, and I love The Rock, but it just didn't do anything for me. But yeah, moving the pool 3 times, Dean, like, I was just like, big head, like you can't move the pool. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're killing me. Like, you're killing me with this shit. Like, oh my God. Fucking killing me. And yeah, so yeah, it's like I love the manager was just like, what? Like, you move the, oh my God, you know, like, you know, I just got a financial manager, actually. I'm getting one of those right now, and I'm turning in all my stuff, and it's like really scary because I'm like, wow, now you can see how bad I am at managing my money. Like, although honestly, I haven't been that bad. I mean, being able to run an independently run production studio for 4 years on like a wing and a prayer, I think I've done pretty good because we're still going. When in fact, there have been other things like Stanley's World of Heroes in particular. They were funded by Google. I mean, they got, I don't even know how much money they had. They had a lot of money. And guess what? They're not around anymore, you know? Along with like dozens. I mean, like, it's crazy to me that we've outlasted like fully funded by Google operations and they just fucked it up. And it's like, Google, why don't you just give me some motherfucking money? You know, like, because my channel is tested, it works, we know what we're doing. We just need capital. Like, that's the only thing we're missing. It's just like we don't have a team to like put shit out as quickly as we'd like to do because it's just 2 assholes in their fucking apartment studio. So, you know, whatever. But this show brings it up for me. I love that Jared, one really great Jared moment is when they were talking, he's like, oh, what's Richard, what's your girl's name? It's like, oh, her name's Winnie. And he's like, oh, I used to have a stuffed animal named Winnie. I got a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, and I stuffed it full of newspapers and I drew a smile on it and named it Winnie. I was just like, fuck, Jared, your fucking childhood is so bad.
I hope they keep doing that joke.
I know. I want to know what Jared's like fucking childhood story is. So bad, like so bad. I did also appreciate when Bachman was in the office talking to the tech blogger girl, you know, and he's like trying to convince her not to give up his source, you know, and he's like, you're a journalist, you know, integrity. And she's like, I'm not a journalist. I'm a tech blogger. Like, I write articles for the internet, you know, like, it's just like, I'm so glad that she said that because it's like, man, blogging is, it's a thing. It's not, there's not journalistic integrity on the internet. Like, you can't believe everything these people like fucking put out there. Like, oh my God. In fact, I want to make I should make a Winnie like Ziploc bag thing. Like, just have it. Like, just have my own little prop. But yeah, the tabs versus spaces holy war. If any of you coders out there are listening in, or you guys know anything about this, you tell us in your chats. Chat with us. Is it tabs? Is it spaces? What's the big deal? Because I don't fucking know. Like, I don't care. And I feel like I'd probably be with Winnie, where it's just like, well, it doesn't fucking matter. So what's your problem? You know? In fact, I've had similar, I mean, I haven't had that conversation, but I have had similar conversations with people where I'm just, what's your problem? But some people, man, they just can't handle it, you know? They just can't handle it. And Richard is one of those people. And Richard's always getting in his own way, you know? It's just like, that's the fucking, oh, that's Richard in a fucking bag. Ugh. But the big thing, Winnie cosplay, yes. What does that even look like? Jesus Christ. So I love that Jared, now that Richard is opening himself up to dating, Jared's like, well, maybe I'll open myself up to dating. And I remembered, and I called this before Dinesh said it, when I was watching, is when he walks out with his girl, you know, and I was just like, this guy fucks, you know, like, Jared fucks, yes, you know, and it's like so funny that fucking douchebag guy called it. Like, he totally called, like he just smelled it on him, was just like, yep, that guy fucks. And he totally does. Like, what an amazing fucking payoff. Like, what a hilarious payoff for like just some random thing that some random character said. It's not even in the show anymore. And then they do something hilarious with it. Like, that's the writing on this show is so fucking good. And he even like bangs her like in the fucking garage. Like, it's like, what? But it's totally, I don't know. It makes sense. Like, cause I mean, that's the thing.
Girls would be attracted to Jared?
I think girls would be attracted to Jared for sure, because it's like, okay, he's
sweet.
He's genuine, and that's the thing. He's sincere and he's genuine. And when he talks to you, he like really cares about your problems, and like he's like really listens. And that's what unfortunately most girls just want someone to listen, It's like it's not rocket science, guys. It's like just like pretend like you give a shit and listen a little bit and like just commiserate a little bit. Don't try to fix the problem. That's the thing. That's where guys go wrong. They're always trying to fix the problem. And girls, we're not telling you the problem so you can fucking fix it for us. We're telling you the problem because we're like, we just want you to share and empathize with us on something. It's like, it's a sharing of your life. It's not like, I don't need you to come in and fix it. I just want to tell you about what's going on. And then, we can fucking talk about it and you can tell me the things that are going on in your life. It's a sharing. It's a sharing. Anytime, you guys, if you guys need relationship tips, I need to have my own like relationship fucking deal. Yeah. My love line going on. But when Bachman was asking Jared if he was going to bring his new girl to the Alcatraz party, and he was like, "Oh no, I think it's too early for that." And then he's like, "Good idea. Don't bring sand to the beach." It's like, don't bring sand to the beach when there's always going to be pussy everywhere. Like that was definitely one of my favorite lines in the episode. Definitely one of my favorite lines. I love that Dinesh's fucking plan backfired as always, where he's like calling himself fucking Pakistani Denzel. It's like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, and then he fucking up-reses the video and then he's the dog face. He's the dog face. And I'm so glad Guilfoyle was there to just like be like, wow, this is what you get for being a fucking asshole. It's like, and I love that Guilfoyle though got him to do it in like that. He's so Luciferian, he's just like puts these ideas in his head and then it's like, oh, poor Dinesh, that poor fucking guy. I feel a little bad for Dinesh. He's not a bad guy. He's just awkward, I mean, these guys, they just,
unlike Jared, he's not being himself, his true self.
Yeah. Unlike Jared, he's not being his true self. And that's the big problem. It's like, don't say you're Pakistani Denzel to somebody when you're not that cute. Okay. Like that's a lie. You can't do that. Because she's going to see your face eventually. I don't know. Just be yourself, just be yourself.
And know your shortcomings.
And know your shortcomings. So be confident though. Confidence. Ladies like that confidence. Okay. Like, and with Dinesh, it always feels like he's trying to trick them, because he doesn't believe that he's worthy. Like he doesn't believe that he's worthy of a girl. So he's always trying to trick them. And like that trickery thing, like girls will pick up on that, and so they do, and it never works out for him. Poor guy.
This is love line.
And I know it was a love line episode that was all about relationships. And I'm a lady. I like talking about relationships. I like talking about these sorts of romantic issues. No, Dean, you're totally wrong. Totally wrong. If you're a dog face, it doesn't matter. If you just bring it and you're confident about it and you're just like, whatever, and you just don't give a fuck, trust me. Like, I know dudes that are not cute and they get chicks all the time just because they're fucking confident, like I am not kidding you. So just keep that in your head. Just own it. Whatever you got, girls and boys, just own it. You guys got to fucking, if you're a little fat, just own it. It's fine. Just like don't try to hide it and be ashamed. It's going to make people, ugh. If you don't like yourself, people are going to know that, and then they're not going to like you, because if you don't like yourself, then why should anyone else like you? That's my fucking deal. All right. So we go to the Bachmanity insanity fucking luau, and everyone's bummed out because it's fucking Alcatraz. So it's fucking cold and it sucks there and it's like not warm and everyone's wearing a fucking jacket at this dumb luau themed fucking deal. It makes no sense. And of course, Bachman, this whole thing is all about his ego and all about like showing off and like looking cool in front of people. And what does it turn into? It's just like they find out they just wasted all their money, and I love the business managers. Like I've called you several times. I left messages like, you did not call me back. You guys are insolvent. And like, it was the ending line was just the best. Like it was just such a great payoff. Again, it's just such great writing where they go up there at the end and they're like, aloha means hello. And then Big Head is like, oh, and also goodbye, and just cut. And it was just such a perfect ending to such a great episode. This show continues to kill it for me. Silicon Valley is just fucking the best. You guys share it with your friends and family. Tell people. I was telling my neighbor last night. I just totally busted into my neighbor's fucking place and was just like, hey, and I was like bitching about X-Men because I just had to bitch to somebody about it, and they were.
Just burst into your neighbor's
Yeah, well, they had their front door open, and like it's like my place is. Yeah, well, no, their front door was wide open, and like one of them was out in the yard talking on a phone, and then they had some toy that was like going off that like wouldn't shut up or something, and I don't know. They're like YouTuber types, okay? Like I somehow managed to live next door, like, and not next door, like I live in this weird thing that's like an offshoot of their house, so it's like we kind of share a wall or something.
You just happen to move next to another YouTuber.
Yes, I just happen to move next to another YouTuber. It's like really, it's weird, but we don't do the same things or anything. But yeah, I was in there and the guy was like, "Oh, is Silicon Valley any good?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like what are you doing, dude? Come on, Daryl, fucking watch that shit." So yeah, I'm the wacky neighbor. I bust in on my neighbors and I tell them that movies are bad and to watch Silicon Valley. That's what I do. So yes. So let's wrap it up. Epic History X-Men Volume 3, The Dark Phoenix Saga is available on Vimeo on demand for $3.99. Your friggin' Schmarmucks coffee costs more than that. It's like an hour long documentary. I mean, like it cost me $14 to go see that crappy X-Men movie. Although I didn't pay for that movie. I paid for Neighbors 2 and then snuck in because I was not about to give my money to that fucking mess. So we're going to talk all about Epic History. We're going to talk about take a break, go crack yourself a beer or something, get ready to see me go nuts. You guys are gonna have the best time watching me be a crazy bitch. So, all right, we'll see you next week. Silicon Valley Rewind. Today, we'll be joined by actor and No You Shut Up co-creator Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh man, talk about puppet people.
That guy.
That's right.
Whoa. Welcome to Marvel's Off the Rack.